Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, February 9th. We have a lot to talk about this morning. We've talked for several days about the possibility of a deep upper level low pressure system sitting over the eastern part of the U.S. come 13th, 14th, Sunday, Monday time frame, and it has some potential. We'll focus in on that possibility over the next several minutes. There is the likelihood for low pressure to form somewhere near the East Coast later this upcoming weekend. At the same time, a real strong Arctic front pushes in from the northwest to the southeast into the eastern U.S. Will probably be quite mild in the mid-Atlantic region, for example, ahead of the front on Saturday after a few quiet, mild days here to end the work week. But then much colder conditions on Sunday. Quite a decent possibility of at a minimum, some snow on Sunday as that colder air comes in. And if there's phasing in the upper part of the atmosphere, it could even be a more substantial event in the Sunday, Monday time frame we're talking. We'll focus in on that over the next several minutes. But first I wanted to start off by looking at the latest La Niña conditions. We haven't talked much about the sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean in recent videos. I have a posting right now at arcfieldweather.com on La Niña. The fact that it looks like it'll continue into at least the early part of the summer season, which could have an ultimate impact on the tropical season, not only in the Atlantic Basin, but in the Pacific as well. And it's already having an impact on global temperatures, and we'll focus in on that over the next minute or two here. And again, this is all from a posting right now on the homepage at arcfieldweather.com. First of all, this line right here represents the equator, the 0-degree latitude line, and you can see blue showing up right along the equator in the tropical part of the Pacific Ocean, all the way extending from the west coast of South America well into the central part of the Pacific Ocean. That is La Niña, colder than normal conditions. We experienced La Niña conditions a couple of winters ago, in the winter of 2020 to 2021. It continued throughout 2021, although it did weaken at times, but it reemerged for this current winter season and continues to this day as a colder than normal patch of water out across the equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. And again, it looks like it'll continue into at least May, June, July time frame, and that certainly can have an impact on the tropical seasons, both in the Atlantic Basin and in the Pacific Ocean. Well, here's another plot from the posting right now at arcfieldweather.com. It has a compilation of numerical models and their predictions for the sea surface temperature anomalies in the central part of the tropical Pacific Ocean, rolling forward in 3-month time frames. First of all, we are right in this period right here, January, February, March, and anything below this neutral line is considered La Niña, anything above El Nino, and you can see we are clearly in La Niña territory right now. The green line right here represents an average of all what are called statistical models. We have a kind of series of different types of models shown on this plot. Some are called dynamical models, some are statistical models, but the overall consensus by all of these models is that La Niña will continue for the next few months, right into the early part of the tropical season. You can see right here, this is April, May, June time frame, all the way out to June, July, August. Still generally a tendency to be La Niña conditions in the tropical Pacific. Now, this generally has an impact in the Atlantic Basin of more favorable conditions for tropical development, because La Niña generally is associated with weaker wind shear in the tropical Atlantic Ocean, and indeed last summer featured La Niña conditions that were quite active in the Atlantic Basin. On the other hand, in the Pacific Ocean, colder than normal temperatures in the equatorial part of the Pacific generally suppressed tropical activity. Indeed, last summer was below normal, especially in terms of major hurricanes in the Pacific Ocean. So you could see a repeat of that with a a more active season than normal in the Atlantic Basin, but less active in the Pacific Ocean, which, by the way, is far more important in terms of overall global tropical activity, as it is a much larger ocean, of course, than the Atlantic Ocean. But again, La Nina right now looks like it will continue at least for the next few months. Now, one last chart on the La Nina El Nino combination here. We're looking at global temperatures as depicted by satellite observations kept by the University of Alabama at Huntsville. This is known as the UAH Global Temperature Data Set. And I just wanted to point out that the ongoing La Nina, which again has been a back-to-back episode during the winter season of 2020-2021 and continues this winter season well into the year of 2022, and global temperatures have responded accordingly. This is the very latest monthly reading, not far at all from normal, which is this line right here, and this is again having an impact by the La Nina that has existed now for a couple of years in the Pacific Ocean. Some of these spikes in recent times have been El Nino, warmer than normal conditions, especially this time period, 2016-17. There was a pretty strong El Nino with warmer than normal water in the tropical Pacific, and global temperatures spiked as a result. But over the last couple of years, they've certainly been in a downtrend and almost near normal at the latest readings. Again, partly, if not mostly, as a result of the La Nina conditions in the Pacific Ocean. What happens in the Pacific certainly has a big impact around the world. Again, all of these maps right here at the at arcfieldweather.com. Take a look at that posting on La Nina, and we get into more detail on how it can impact the tropical season this upcoming summer season. Well, let's now take a look at last night's 0Z run of the operational version of the GFS. First, we're looking at 850 millibar temperature anomalies across North America. And the next few days, quite a nice change in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the Northeast U.S. First of all, it'll be generally quiet. There may be a rain or snow shower tonight associated with a weak cold frontal system, but certainly milder conditions than what we have experienced in many recent days, many recent weeks in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, Friday afternoon, certainly highs should be way up in the 40s. Again, noticeably milder than recent days, and the 50s are possible on Saturday ahead of that next Arctic front. So again, warmer than normal conditions showing up right now on the map across much of southeastern Canada and the mid-Atlantic Northeast. Now, let's move forward here. First of all, wanted to point out some very, very cold air over Alaska. Yesterday morning featured some incredible low temperatures in Alaska, especially the northern half of Alaska. Now, it's normally very cold this time of the year, but these were some 20 to 25 degrees below normal, bottoming out at 50 degrees below zero in some parts of northern Alaska yesterday morning. I'm pointing that out because a piece of this cold air drops to the south and east over the next few days. By the way, very warm over California at this current time here. Now let's move forward here. Watch what happens. You have this cold air mass over Alaska kind of teaming up with another cold blast over northern Canada, and they kind of join forces right here and develop a much colder than normal air mass. By the time we get to Saturday morning, there'll be a strong cold front right in this region right here. Again, hanging on to the milder than normal conditions on Saturday. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, likely highs in the 50s in some of those areas, but a big cold shot is coming by the time we get to Sunday. Here it goes. That frontal system kind of starts to slow down as it comes to the East Coast. Here we are now by Sunday morning right here. We have a cold front moving in much colder conditions on Sunday compared to Saturday in places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and throughout the Northeast. Again, this is a very cold air mass. Some of that air sitting over Alaska right now, and they had some record low temperatures yesterday morning. And there will be a low pressure system forming just off the East Coast on Sunday. And again, as has been the case in recent storms, it all depends on the phasing of a couple of streams of vorticity northern stream, southern stream, if they can phase together just at the right time, we could end up with having a pretty decent snow event in the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S. Sunday, Monday time frame. Let's move on here. Now let's take a look at the vorticity field at 500 millibars, and we'll take a look at those disturbances in the upper part of the atmosphere that will play a key role in that Sunday, Monday threat for the eastern seaboard. Here we have a stretched out area of vorticity right now, and again, generally quiet conditions in the Mid-Atlantic today, tomorrow, and Friday. There can be a rain or snow shower tonight associated with this weak system, this weak cold frontal system. Be another weak cold frontal system coming through on Thursday night. Neither one of these, the one tonight and the one tomorrow night, will have much of an impact on temperatures. It stays pretty mild on Thursday and Friday. And then we get into the upcoming weekend. Here we are Friday morning, and then here we go by Saturday morning. A strong cold frontal system crossing the Great Lakes on Saturday. Again, we saw that in the 850 millibar temperature anomaly pattern here. A lot of cold air right in this region right here. Notice the vorticity kind of stretched out again in a southwest to northeast fashion. We had this with the last system where the cold front tended to stall out as it became aligned with those upper air winds. A similar thing is going to happen here over the upcoming weekend. We have this northern stream energy, southern stream energy come Saturday morning, and depending on how they phase together, here we go, some phasing showing up here by Sunday morning. So again, there'll be a cold front that'll be slowing down as it arrives in the eastern U.S. later this weekend. Some snow along that frontal boundary zone, and again, this is phasing in pretty well, pretty quickly here on this particular run of the GFS last night at 0Z. We'll see over the next few days how this evolves, but there is certainly a threat for the Sunday, Monday time frame. And again, it all depends on how quick these systems, the northern stream system and the southern stream system, phase together, because low pressure will be trying to intensify at this time. This is a Sunday night time frame. Let's move all the way into Monday, and here is kind of the phasing together of that system by Monday morning, Valentine's Day, February 14th. So again, a lot of potential here, and yet another system right on the heels here, and that may play a role as well. So we have multiple waves in the upper part of the atmosphere. We'll have to focus in on how they will interact with each other over the next couple of days. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps from the 0Z run of the GFS. Again, generally quiet today. There can be, as we'll see here in a moment, a rain or snow shower in portions of the Mid-Atlantic region. Nothing too serious, but certainly cannot rule out a rain or snow shower overnight tonight as a weak frontal system pushes in. That weak front will not have much of an impact on temperatures between today and tomorrow, probably in the 40s for highs both today and tomorrow, DC, Philly, New York City. But again, certainly can be some scattered snow showers across the Mid-Atlantic, the northeast U.S., beginning tonight and continuing through the day on Thursday. Then we have looking upstream here. By the time we get to Friday afternoon, we have a strong cold front starting to show up here on the maps, and we saw very cold air dropping from Alaska, northwest Canada, all the way into the northern plains by the time we get to the beginning stages of the weekend. This is Friday morning, and here we are now by Saturday morning. That front arrives in the Mid-Atlantic region on Saturday. It starts to slow down. That front at this particular time will be aligned in this fashion like this. And remember, the winds in the upper part of the atmosphere were generally from southwest to northeast. When you have a surface front aligned with the upper air wind flow, it doesn't have much of a push from the northwest to the southeast. Indeed, this will tend to slow down here, and we'll see as we get into the day on Sunday. This is Saturday evening, and then by the time we get to late Saturday night into Sunday morning, entirely possible that there's an area of snow that forms right along that frontal boundary, that stalled out frontal boundary zone. The colder air will be pouring in into the I-95 corridor region, all backed up by strong high pressure, a key ingredient as always up across southeastern Canada. But look for a breakout of some steadier snow in that frontal boundary zone as low pressure tries to form off the eastern seaboard. And here we go, the phasing in together of this will dictate how much snow can fall Sunday, Monday time frame. Still several days away, but something we will closely monitor over the next few days. The GFS has a pretty good phasing together of these systems. Some other models don't. 50-50 chance that they will phase together, and we're still 3 or 4 days away. So, but this is something we'll closely monitor over the next few days. One thing we can say with pretty much certainty is that Saturday will be quite mild ahead of the next Arctic front, and it'll turn much colder for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But how much snow falls in that transition period, Sunday, Monday time frame, still open to question, but there is certainly a threat on the table for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast U.S. So take a look at arcfieldweather.com to review that La Niña article. Quite interesting on how has it impacted global temperatures already, and how it may impact the tropical season this summer, both in the Atlantic and the Pacific. And we will certainly continue to closely monitor possibilities for Sunday, Monday. That's it for now. For arcfieldweather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.